You are always 1 second of strength away from a completely different life. It just takes one little second of strength. And I think we're all in the pursuit of what matters most. And the reality, I think there's 3 things that really matter to everyone in this room, and it doesn't matter who you are. Number 1, I think you want to reach your potential. I think deep down inside, you know you were born for more. I hope you feel that inside. Number 2, I think that we want to help other people, right? We want to be these future leaders that help other people reach their potential. We have the power to do that with who we are. And number 3, I think we just want to be a little bit happier. And nobody is disqualified from these things. Every single one of you has that potential deep down inside of you just waiting to come out, but you've got to let it go. Every one of you has the power to change somebody else's lives just by being who you are. And everybody in this room deserves to be happy. The problem is the pursuit of what matters most doesn't really look like this. It looks like this. It's hard. It's difficult. Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes we struggle. Everybody is struggling with something. Everybody's got a weight on their shoulders, something invisible that maybe you can't see. And struggling doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just makes you a person. The number 1 thing keeping you from what matters most in your life is distraction. Distraction is the enemy of action, keeping you from gaining traction towards a life filled with satisfaction. There's 2 types of distractions that everybody in this world struggles with right now. Number 1 is those external distractions. You know exactly what they are. All of you have it, right? Smartphones, social media. And number 2 is those internal distractions. For some of you, the biggest challenge you face in life isn't out there. It's right in here. It's those limiting beliefs that keep us stuck on the staircase of life. The 4-inch screen in your hand is strong enough to make you believe that short-term pleasure, instant gratification, is greater than the long-term satisfaction that comes with pursuing what matters most. They want you to sit down on the staircase of life and scroll for the rest of time. I think that sometimes we say words like this, I'm not enough. Or we think that we always fail, so why should we even try? I want you to know something. First of all, you can't believe everything you think because none of those things are true. The reality is you are enough. You were born enough. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, nobody in this world is perfect, and you might fail, but failing is how we grow because remember, the messy middle of life, that's where we grow. We grow in the challenge. When we start having these limiting beliefs, instead of sitting down on the staircase of life, we start running backwards. We start running away from our potential. We start running away from what matters most in our life. And so we've got to decide that we want to stand up and we want to move forward. So when I was 12 years old, I started playing the guitar. And I knew without a doubt I was going to be a rock star. But then when I was 15 years old, I was asked to speak at this really large church event. It was a lot like this. It was in my high school auditorium, but there was about 2,000 people. And I remember sitting on that stage really nervous. What really kept me stuck that day were my thoughts. I remember sitting on that stage thinking, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I don't have anything to say that is going to help any of these people. Why did they even ask me? And when we have these negative thoughts, they lead to these negative behaviors. And when we have negative behaviors, they lead to these negative experiences. And those negative experiences, they turn into negative emotions. And those negative emotions, they just turn right back into thoughts. And now we're on this spin cycle of thinking negatively about ourselves, believing that we're not enough. The devil doesn't need to tell you that you're worthless. He just needs to distract you from your worth a little bit more. He's got a lot of tricks to do that. But one of those ways that he does that is those external distractions that we talked about before. The other way that he does that, he just keeps putting those negative thoughts in your mind, and he keeps telling you that you're not good enough, and you kept believing it because you're starting to have these negative emotions. We have to replace those thoughts immediately. And when we do that, we start to train our brain. You see, it's this simple process of recognizing when there's a trigger that is making us feel less than. When we feel that trigger, all we have to do is we have to recognize that we have the power in 1 second of strength to take an action. And so that day I was sitting on that stage, scared to death in front of 2,000 people. I was like, Tanner, if you want to be a rock star and you want to play music in front of hundreds of thousands of people, if that's what you want to do, then you can't be scared of this moment. And in 1 second, it changed. In 1 second of strength, I went from being scared to death and questioning every decision I'd ever made in my life to knowing that I was in control of the decisions I would make for the rest of my life. It took 1 second of strength to choose courage over fear. It took 1 second of strength to step into that potential so that I could change the lives of other people in that moment. I truly believe that I'm standing on this stage today because of a 1 second decision I made when I was 15 years old. If you remember nothing else today, I hope it's this. I hope you know that you're in control of your life. You are always 1 second of strength away from a completely different life. So go find your 1 second of strength and make your mark. Thank you all.